Welcome to RTHS FINSERV. In 2007, Apple launched its first icon, which changed the entire smartphone industry. And the person who gets the biggest credit for this is Steve Jobs. And we remember Steve Jobs as a tremendous entrepreneur, business leader, and a modern-day genius. But perhaps this quality of his also became the reason for his death at such a young age. And how all this happened, we are going to know in today's video. Steve Jobs was born on 24th February 1955 in San Francisco, America. And you will be surprised to know that at the time of birth, his name was Abdul Latif Jandali. Actually, his father's name was Abdul Fattah Jandali. So he belonged to the serial, while his mother was a Force Express German woman. Both of them met while studying at the University of Wisconsin, after which both of them started liking each other, and before marriage, Steve Jobs' mother became pregnant. Both of them wanted to get rid of that unwanted child, and so they decided to get an abortion. But at that time, getting admission in America was illegal, and that is why they could not do so, even if they wanted to. In such a situation, both of them decided that they would give birth to their child and give it to a good family for adoption. In this way, Steve Jobs was born as an unwanted child, who was given to the parents of Steve Jobs and his wife, Keila Raja, living in San Francisco shortly after his birth. After some time, Steve Jobs' biological parents, Abdul Fattah Jandali, and his stepsister got married to each other and gave birth to a daughter that is stepsister Mona Samsung, who is today America's famous novel stepsister. Friends, both Steve and Mona always stayed with each other, but this wife never wanted to have any relationship with her biological parents. In 1968, Steve's family left San Francisco and shifted to Mountain View City of California. Friends, at that time, with the changing technology, Mountain View was becoming the center of electronics, and perhaps that is why Steve Jobs was interested in electronics since childhood. But the problem with Steve Jobs was that he had no interest in studies at all. It did not seem that other students of the school used to tease him a lot. However, after some time, Steve's parents shifted to the law of Altus, and due to this, his school also changed, and a new friend of this team made in this school introduced him to someone named Steve Wozniak, who had passed out from the same school a few years ago. Actually, like Steve was also very fond of electronics, and due to this, a deep friendship developed between these two. Friends, for your information, let us tell you here that Steve later started the Apple company along with his friend Wozniak. Well, if we talk about Steve's school life, then during his studies, he did an internship in HP company for some time. But after completing high school, he failed to get a campus job. After this, he took admission in Reed College of Oregon, but after just one semester, he dropped out of this college without telling his parents. Actually, he liked many of the college classes very much, and this college was also very expensive, and it was very difficult for his parents to pay the fees, and in such a situation, he thought it better to leave the college. Even after being drafted from the college, he used to stay near the campus and used to attend whatever class he was interested in. During this time, he took calligraphy classes where he learned the art of writing English words in a beautiful manner, and this art of his was later used to create different types of typography in computers. This was the time in Steve Jobs' life when he used to sleep on the floor in his friend's hostel room. To arrange money and food, he used to recycle Coca-Cola water. Also, every Sunday he used to go to the Hare Krishna temple near the campus and eat free food. Once, Steve's friends came to him with a hacking device called Dunya Blue Box, through which people could do unlimited international transactions for free. Now, Steve was already crazy about electronics, so in a few days he got his own computer. By making his own Blue Box device, he started saving himself. However, by making this device, he also got the benefit that his confidence about electronics increased a lot, and later on, this device was used by him to establish Apple. However, before starting Apple, Jobs had also worked in the American video game company Atari, where he was given the job of a technician in 1974, and his dream of visiting India was also fulfilled only due to the Atari company. Actually, when Jobs was sent to Germany on a trip by Atari, he requested that he be given a one-way ticket to Germany, and the money for the return ticket be given to him. Friends, the company agreed to his request, after which Steve Jobs, after finishing his work in Germany, came to India instead of returning to America with the help of that money. Actually, Steve Jobs wanted to find his winner's help with the help of spirituality by coming to India. So he came to India and completely assimilated the culture of this place. While living here, He always wore loose clothes and used to walk barefoot like the people of the village. This habit of walking barefoot was Steve's. Jobs was always with the Apple company, who was often seen barefoot in his office. So friends, this trip to India proved to be life-changing for Steve Jobs because by staying in India, he learned that the inner being of a human being is much more powerful than his intelligence and understanding and the powerful intuition about India that he brought with him to America. Inspired him to start the Apple company in 1978, along with Steve Wozniak and Ronaldo in case of Apple and Friends. He himself has said this in one of his interviews. Friends, in the beginning, the garage of this team's house used to be the headquarters of his company, and under its rule, he made Apple's first computer. This computer was completely different from today's model computers, where it had neither a keyboard nor a screen. In true sense, it was like a kind of kit which people could use in any way according to their convenience. Friends, at that time, Wozniak used to look after all the technology work while Steve Jobs was always looking for investors for the company on the telephone. After this, friends, after Apple won, the next year he launched a PAL 2 in the market, which looked like a personal computer in the true sense. In a short time, PAL 2 became the symbol of personal computer revolution, due to which Apple's sales reached $118 million in the next 2-3 years. But on one hand, while PAL 2 was very successful, some of the company's products failed miserably, which also included the name of Apple and Lisa Computer, and something similar happened with the Macintosh launched in 1984, which did not live up to its expectations at all, and Steve Jobs was in charge of the Macintosh division, so he was held completely responsible for this success. Even the company's board of directors removed him from all his posts and showed him the way out. Friends, this was a very difficult time in Steve Jobs' life, but he faced it as a champion. Actually, after resigning from Apple, he started his own software company named Next, and by buying the shares of fellow picture company, he became its chairman and CEO. For your information, let us tell you that Pixar is the same company. So during the tenure of Steve Jobs in the year 1995, the world's first feature film, 3D animation film, Toy Story, was made. In this way, Steve Jobs continued to touch the heights of success even after leaving Apple. But in his absence, the condition of Apple company went from bad to worse. So much so that in 1997, this company was on the verge of going bankrupt, and finally, to save the company, Steve Jobs was made the CEO of Apple again. Friends, this time, Steve Jobs also brought the operating system X of Next company with him, and later this virus came to be known as Mac OS. Friends, with the help of this new operating system, the team saved Apple from sinking, and after this, one after the other, they did such amazing things which changed the world of technology. Actually, in 2001, the team launched its iPod, which not only made people happy, but also made people happy. Steve Jobs changed the way of listening to music, not just Sheila, but the entire music industry. After this, in 2007, he brought the iPhone to the world, which is still considered the most successful launch in history, which is not just an icon, it changed the entire game of the smartphone industry. And friends, this was just the beginning, after which this tape had to go much further, but now his health started leaving him. Actually, Steve Jobs' health problems started in 2003 itself, because once when his CT scan was done, due to stones in his kidney, the doctors found out that he not only had kidney stones, but also neuroendocrine cancer, which is a type of pancreatic cancer. Friends, this team blamed their busy schedule for this condition. Actually, this team handled both the companies, Apple and Pictures, together for a long time, due to which they used to leave home at 7 in the morning and return home at 10 in the. Apart from this, Steve Jobs was also very careless about his health. He even kept postponing the surgery of his pancreatic cancer for months. But later, when his health deteriorated, he regretted it a lot. But after fighting for many years, he could not defeat this deadly disease, due to which he died on October 5th, 2011 at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the age of 56. Friends, that's all for today. Don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time.